Put the hip shit on the shelf, cause the way the real wealth is being real with self. My life have seen the glory of the coming of the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help. It's time to switch it up, put the hip shit on the shelf, cause the way the real wealth is being real with self. My life have seen the glory of the coming of the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help. Money, money, money. That money got to like being wealthy. I know you know. Like Kanye West said, having money is not everything. Not having it is. No, Deuteronomy 8:18 says God gives us the ability to create wealth. No, it's the love of money that's wrong. You don't like money so much, why do you get up and go to work? Yeah, I do get up all morning. I'm just trying to leave a legacy for money. It's not everything, but when you got it, you can do some cool stuff. And now, your host for Talking Money in the Morning, financial health mentor to the working class, Mr. Cortez.
Good morning, Black World, and welcome to Talking Money in the Morning Live with your main man, H. Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor to the Black community, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur, where I do my absolute best to bring practical yet proven wealth building strategies to working men and women all over this great nation of ours. Truly an honor, privilege, and a blessing to come to you live and direct from the Generational Wealth Building Conference studios here in St. Louis, Missouri. If you have not gotten your ticket to the Generational Wealth Building Conference, then go to wealth.joincorteznow.com. Learn all there is to learn about how to build multi-generational wealth. That conference is going to be everything and a bag of chips. Speakers coming in from all over the country to introduce strategies to build partnerships, alliances, and conglomerates. You want to be a part of that. Again, wealth.joincorteznow.com. Generational Wealth Building Conferences brought to you by the Black Billionaires Club and my man, Evan Jefferson. Yeah, you got to be in the building to make that happen. Do me a favor, if you're checking this out on YouTube, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We will hit 2,000 subscribers on YouTube before the end of the month. So if you have not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, if you will, please. And I'm going to see where we are right now in terms of subscribers. We are at 1,812 subscribers, y'all. So appreciate that. Keep on keeping on with sharing the show and sharing the YouTube channel. So make sure that you do that for me. If you have not already subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button. But also you can comment on YouTube and I can see your comments in real time. And you can also share the stream from YouTube as well. Hit the share button, share it on Google Plus, your LinkedIn profile, wherever you share stuff, go ahead and hit the share button. You can copy the link, share it on Facebook. That helps the stream continue to grow, and ask your friends and family to like the channel as well. For you guys on Facebook, go ahead and do the same thing for me. If you have not already paid your price of admission, and you know what that is, right? The price of admission to Talking Money in the Morning Live is a simple share. Hit the share button, man. And guess what? I can see when you hit the share button, it tells me who shared. So if you didn't pay your price of admission, I'm going to kick you off the stream. No, I'm not going to do that. But I would appreciate it if you hit the share button. And then also the likes, the thumbs up, and the hearts, all that kind of stuff. Lets Facebook know we got good quality content. And Facebook will share this with more and more people as well, and let us reach more people. And there are a lot of people who want to start their day with some good positive information. And that's what I try to do, is bring some positive light to give you some encouragement, inspiration, motivation to get up, get out and get something and do your thing. Start building that generational legacy that you want to build for you and your family. So hit the share button. Today's show is also brought to you by the Black Wealth Movement. Guys, I don't know about you, but I had to come to the realization that I needed new money strategies. And as I was coming to that realization, this fell in my lap. The Black Wealth Movement will teach you 5 core wealth building principles. One is entrepreneurship. You got to have a business in America. Otherwise, you're just a foreigner in your own country, because America is business. Number 2, you've got to understand the tax code. And how to minimize your taxes, especially if you're working a job, you're taxed the most. You can legally minimize your taxes. We teach you how to do that. Number 3, take your tax savings and then get yourself out of debt. We show you how to do that. Number 4, credit education is keenly important. You can no longer neglect your credit. right? It's one of those things where early on in life, you were doing a lot of things, paying with a lot of cash, not tripping off your credit. Now it's time to start making some bigger purchases. You need to have solid credit. And we teach you how to fix your own credit. And then number 5, asset accumulation. The name of the game is to accumulate assets that will grow in wealth or produce cash flow for you the rest of your life. If you don't know how to do that, then that's what this thing is all about. $70 to start, less than $50 a month for your membership. And I promise you, you can't go anywhere else on the planet and get mentorship from a collective network of nearly $1 billion, right? Our mentors who teach and coach us on wealth building, collectively, that a group of people is about 5 to 7 people. Collectively, they're worth about $1 billion. Where can you go and spend $50 per month and plug into $1 billion worth of intellect in the financial education space? Black Wealth Movement, man. So if you're interested in that, text Black Wealth Movement to 314-874-6887. Body by Bazell, I see you on YouTube. Appreciate you always tuning in to the YouTube channel. Again, text Black Wealth Movement to 314-874-6887. Couple quick announcements, guys. If you are looking for and don't already have life insurance, let me and my team help you protect your assets, your number one asset being your income potential. You can connect with me from that perspective. Shoot me an inbox if you are walking around with no life insurance, man. Why are you doing that? Maybe because you just don't know the benefits of it. So let's connect, and I can put you in touch with somebody that can help you get a good policy that's good and right for you. This weekend, Saturday, March 24th, I will be in Kansas City teaching wealth. 3210 Michigan Avenue, Kansas City, Missouri. Look on my page, check the event, and you'll be able to look, see that. Do me a favor, even if you're not in the Kansas City area, go grab that event and share it on your page. You never know who on your timeline is from the Kansas City area and would like to join or participate in that event. It's a free event from 8:30, doors open at 8:30 for registration, and then 9 till 1:30. So 9 to 11, there's training for people who are already doing what we're doing and want to become better wealth strategists and wealth coaches. So we train them. And then from 12 to 1, we actually do our business presentation where we show you how to make money as a wealth strategist and how you can plug into our system, our team, our resources, our mentors and coaches, and teach you how all of that works. So that's Kansas City this coming weekend, March the 24th. So make sure that you share that event for me, if you will. Today, we're talking about the 7 laws of wealth, according to Dr. Dennis Kimbro. This one right here has been on my book list for a good minute. It's called The Wealth Choice by Dr. Dennis Kimbro. If you want to pick this up, the best way to do this is to go to your cashbackmall.financialhealthmentor.com. See, every time I spend some money, I try to make sure I only spend money where I'm going to get something in return and not just the product. So I buy a lot of my books, a lot of my resources from a cashback mall that pays me to shop there. So if you go to cashbackmall.financialhealthmentor, you can sign up for a free Cashback Mall subscription. And then you can go to the bookstore in the Cashback Mall and grab your copy of The Wealth Choice, Success Secrets of Black Millionaires by Dr. Dennis Kimbro. And he talks about and breaks down in great detail the 7 laws of wealth. And he gives lots of examples of how wealthy Black people have used and implemented these laws in their lives. The first law is the law of knowledge, right? The first law is the law of knowledge. And a few things that trouble me with people. What's up, AV? It says revolutionizing the minds of youth athletes. We also have Apostle Ray Wilkerson, Exodus House LLC incubation program is in the house. Okay, Atlanta. I see you. I see you. Let me know how I can help you build and grow and establish that brand. Joseph McKee is in the building as well. Shift your mind, shift your income, build generational wealth. Rise Nursing Academy in Louisville, Kentucky, Healthcare Training Center. Okay. And we just have Boutique House Enterprises checking in from Gary, Indiana. The law of knowledge is number one. And here's some things, here's some knowledge that you absolutely have to get. And a lot of people are asleep on this. One of the first things that you need to learn if you're going to be building business, building wealth, you have to learn the system that you're in, right? You have to learn the system that you're in. What is the system that we're in America? The system that we're in is called a capitalistic democracy. And capitalism is first for a reason. Because even before democracy, there is capitalism. You're in a capitalistic democracy. What is capitalism? It is a political and economic system. It's a political and economic system that governs our economy. I'm gonna say it one more time because a lot of you guys miss this when you think about capitalism. Capitalism is a political and economic system that governs our economy. So yeah, there's all sorts of politics in capitalism. And then there is the money side of capitalism. You have to study this thing if you're going to build wealth. If not, your wealth is going to be taken from you. A lot of people look at capitalism as some sort of dirty word, as there's a problem. No, capitalism is a tool just like any other tool. I can take a hammer and I can build you a house, or I can take a hammer and knock you upside your head. Does that make the hammer evil, or does that make me evil? Same way with capitalism. It's a tool. Some people are using capitalism for good. Some people are using capitalism for evil. It does not make capitalism evil. Capitalism is neutral, just like money is neutral. Some people are using money for good. Some people are using money for evil. Does not make money evil. But if you're not spending any time studying and learning the ins and outs of capitalism, I promise you, you're going to struggle to build wealth. Those who have the most success in the game are those who know the rules really well. In fact, they know the rules so well that they don't even have to think about the rules while they're playing the game. I want you to think about this. I want you to think about a basketball player. You guys know I'm a youth basketball coach and trainer, so I use basketball analogies all the time. I want you to think about a basketball player who every time he stepped on the court, he has to literally think about every rule of the game of basketball. Before he puts the ball down to dribble, he has to think about the rule of dribbling and how to not double dribble. Before he takes a shot, he has to think about the rule of the traveling violation. How does he not travel? Before he thinks about shooting the ball, he has to literally think about and count how many steps he gets to take before he has to leave the floor, take off to shoot. What if a basketball player literally had to think about every single rule before he made a move on the court? And now he's playing a game against competitors who know these rules instinctively and don't have to think about them. Who's going to win every time those two take the court? Those who know the rules backwards and forwards and do not have to think about the rules. You need to know the rules of capitalism in that same way. That's why we teach tax minimization and entrepreneurship as part of the Black Wealth Movement, because you got to know what you're capable of and what you're able to do in terms of the system that you're in, right? The other thing that you have to know as an entrepreneur, you have to know your industry forwards and backwards, inside and out. Do you know your industry? We're talking about the number one law of knowledge, wealth is knowledge. Do you know your industry backwards and forwards? Do you know your products and services backwards and forwards? Right? The average Black millionaire reads 3 to 4 books per month. How many books have you read so far this month? How many books have you read so far this month? The average Black millionaire watches less than 4 hours of TV per day. So that's less than 28 hours per week. Do you know what the average Black person watches in TV per week? 72 hours. The average Black person watches 72 hours of TV per week. I can't even understand how that's possible. But I guess it is. 72 hours of TV, and you wonder why we can't build wealth, right? Two questions. And when you think about this, I wrote this down in my chicken scratch. I couldn't read it, but you have to think about it from this perspective, man. Knowledge, when you're learning something new, you're putting something new in your head. Yeah, that's a whole work week. It is. When you're putting new things in your head, you're growing. You guys realize that? The minute, yes, Wealth Choice by Dr. Dennis Kimbro, the minute you stop growing, you start dying. And I like to talk about us as young people. When we were kids, infants and newborns, 1, 2, 3 years old, everything was so new to us that our brain were constantly creating new neural connections every second, because we were taking in all of this world of new information. That's why your brain grows the most in the first 5 to 7 years of life, because everything is so new. And then what happens around year 5, 6, and 7? You get placed in a school system where more and more stuff becomes routine and it's less new. Then your brain starts to realize that, hey, we're going through the same motions every day, so we don't need to keep creating new neural connections. And your brain literally starts to kill neural connections, and that's when your brain kind of shapes to its final size. If you continue your child in a world of exploration where everything is new every day, before you put them into school, their brain will continue to grow. That capacity will become so elastic that we would stop robbing our children of the genius that they are. But the same thing, you can turn on those neural connections by reading, introducing yourself to new people, new situations, new places, traveling the world, reading books, new content, even things that you don't agree with, causes your brain to grow. Continue to give yourself new information. Number one law of wealth is knowledge. Knowledge. Law number 2 is the law of decision. The law of decision. Poor and middle class people take a long time to make a decision, and they're quick to change their mind about the decision that it took them forever to make. I want y'all to hear this, because this is where some people are messing up. It takes them forever to make a decision. And then they change their mind about that decision like that. The difference, here's what wealthy people do. Wealthy people make decisions quickly. Not that they don't do their due diligence, but once they do their due diligence, they say yes or no and keep it moving. Once they do their due diligence, they make a decision quickly, and it takes them forever to change their mind off that decision. Yeah, there's such a disconnect between preschool and kindergarten. Yeah, when it becomes routine, but that's when our children begin the checkout process. Usually when our children begin the checkout process. So make your decisions. Another thing that wealthy people do is once they make a decision, they're not so much concerned about making the right decision as they are about making the decision right. Because I don't want to change my mind when I make a decision, I might make a decision and it might not have been the best decision that I made, but then I go back and I put the supporting infrastructure around the decision and I make that decision right. Poor and middle class people take forever to evaluate something, take forever to make a decision. And when they finally make a decision, something else comes along and then they change their mind like that. It's 2 questions you have to ask yourself when you roll out of bed every day. Question number 1, are you going to accept your circumstances as they are? That's the first question you have to ask yourself every day you roll out of bed. Are you going to accept the circumstances as they are? How many of you guys are willing to accept your circumstances as they are? That's question number 1. You have to ask yourself every day. Question number 2. If you say you're not going to accept the circumstances as they are you going to accept the responsibility to change them? Two questions you got to ask. Every morning I roll out of bed, am I going to accept my circumstances as they are, or I'm going to take responsibility for changing them? A lot of people are accepting their circumstances as they are. Not only do they accept the circumstances as they are, not only do they not accept responsibilities to change them, they spend a lot of time blaming people for those circumstances in the first place. You will never accept the responsibility for changing your situation when you have yet to accept that you're the person that caused those situations. See, when you blame other people for your situation, then what you're really saying is you are powerless to change it because you didn't cause it. When you blame other people for your situation, what you're saying to your subconscious mind is, since this situation was created by an outside force, I'm going to wait on some outside force to come in and change this situation for me. It's a big difference, and this is where a lot of people are subconsciously making the decisions to stay in their situation. Because I'm pointing the finger at somebody else as the creator and the cause of my situations, then I need an outside force to fix the situation. And that's a huge, huge problem. So knowledge is the first law of wealth. Are you gaining the knowledge that you need to build wealth? Are you implementing the knowledge that you're gaining? Another big issue that a lot of people have is they will gain knowledge and never implement. Guys, I did this for like 5 years. For like 5 years, I was reading, I was studying, I was listening to podcasts and audios, like 5 years, man. Wasn't implementing nothing, wasn't putting nothing into practice that I was learning. Good thing about that, though, is the brain never forgets. It never forgets. So I knew that going in, and I kept saying, one day I'm going to implement this stuff. One day I'm going to put this stuff into practice. One day I'm going to start doing this stuff, right? But because the brain never forgets, I am now using a lot of the knowledge that I stored up 10 years ago. But guess what? If I had started using that knowledge when I learned it then, I'd already be a millionaire. I'd already be a millionaire. So don't just store up the knowledge. Learn, do, teach. Every time you learn something, you implement it, and then you find somebody to teach it to. That's why I do these live streams, because as I'm learning something, I'm doing it and I'm teaching it. Here's why it's important for you to become a teacher, even though that may not be your whole focus, right? You learn something, you store it on your hard drive. You do it, now you gain experience to go with that which you learned, and now you went from learning, you went from knowledge to understanding, and once you implement it and gain the experience from it, it became wisdom, but it is still stored on your hard drive. Now, I don't know about you, but whenever you're dealing with a computer and a hard drive, there's a limited amount of space on that hard drive. In order to get that information off your hard drive, to free up space to learn something new, you have to teach it. Because when you teach it, it's like putting that information in the cloud. It's not on my hard drive, but I have access to it when I need it. Does that make sense? So you learn something, you do it, and you learn it, you get the understanding, you do it, you get the experience, it becomes wisdom, but it still lives on your hard drive, and that limits the capacity to learn something else. But when you teach it, it lifts from your hard drive and goes into the cloud. The cloud is infinite storage. Now I've just freed and cleared up space on my hard drive so that I can continue to learn. And I keep that process going. Learn, do, teach. Learn, do, teach. So I continue to gain wisdom through the doing of that which I've learned. And then I teach it and get it off my hard drive. Now it's in the cloud. I can access it when I need it, but I've created space on my hard drive so I can learn something else, so that my brain can keep creating new neural connections. Learn, do, teach. First law of wealth is knowledge. Learn your system that you're in. We're in a capitalistic democracy. If you're not building wealth, if you don't know this system, you're not going to build wealth. Even if you do build wealth, because you don't know the system, I guarantee you somebody will get you for your wealth. See, capitalism simply says this: those who know capitalize on those who don't know. This is what capitalism says. Capitalism says those who know capitalize on those who don't know. Now, a lot of people think that's a bad thing, because you see somebody capitalizing on something and you're like, man, that's you automatically see that with a negative connotation. But that's not the case. The dry cleaners know something about removing stains that I don't know. Are you telling me because they know that they should not be able to capitalize on that knowledge? Right? But it can be abused. It can be abused. So if you don't understand capitalism and how to grow and maintain and protect and secure your wealth, somebody is going to capitalize on the fact that you don't know that. It's not always a bad thing, right? I know some things that you guys don't know. Therefore, you're willing to pay me to teach you what it is that I know. Is that wrong? There's nothing wrong with that. But when you don't know how capitalism works, you don't know how taxes work, you don't know how trusts work, you don't know how wealth really is to be protected, stored, saved, and passed down from one generation to the next, somebody is going to come along and capitalize on the fact that you don't know that stuff. Like Pebbles capitalized on the fact that TLC knew nothing about the music business. She made multi millions of TLC. They made a few 100,000. You better learn this capitalistic democracy that you're playing in. Otherwise, you will get capitalized on in a negative way, right? Make sure you're reading, make sure you're going to new places, make sure you're always expanding your mind. Millionaires watch less than 4 hours of TV versus 75 hours of TV by those who are not millionaires. Law number 2 is a law of decision. You gotta be quick to make decisions. Not that you don't do your due diligence. Do what it is you gotta do your research, make a decision. Is this a good fit for me or not a good fit for me? And then when you make that decision, you make that decision right. Right? When you make that decision, then make that decision right. 2 questions you got to ask yourself. Are you going to accept the circumstances as they are? Or are you going to accept the responsibility to change those circumstances? Either you make the decision or life will make the decision for you. Right? Anybody had life make some decisions for them and you wish that you'd have gone a different way yourself? Either you make the decisions or life will make the decisions for you. Right? Third one, we'll wrap up with this one today, and then we'll finish the other 4 tomorrow. Third one, law of wealth, the law of belief. You have to believe in yourself when no one else does. The law of belief. Believe in yourself when no one else does. This is the most critical component, because if you believe in yourself when no one else does, then you acquire the knowledge you need to build wealth. When you believe in yourself, you'll make those decisions, right? Fair exchange and no robbery. When you believe in yourself, you'll make decisions, and then you'll make those decisions right. When you believe in yourself, you'll take the responsibilities to change your circumstances and not blame others. See, I believe 3 things about me fundamentally. And it helps when you have people around you who also believe certain things about you. But the Bible says all things are possible for him who believes. It didn't say all things are possible for him who's got a bunch of people believing in him. There's only one being required to believe for you to have what you want to have. And that is you, my friend. There's only one person responsible for believing. And that's all. If you believe, it didn't say that if your mother believes in you, all things are possible. It didn't say if your wife believes in you, your husband believes in you, all things are possible. So all things are possible for him, her, they, that particular individual. If that person believes it's possible, it's possible. If that person believes it's impossible, then it's impossible. A lot of you guys are believing that building a legacy for you is impossible. 3 things I believe about me. Number 1, I believe I'm a God under the Most High God. And what that simply implies is that God is the creator of the entire universe. I am the creator of my entire universe. So if my universe is upside down, I did that. I have to take responsibility for that. But until you believe in yourself in this way, you'll always blame others for your situation and your circumstances, and you won't take responsibility for changing those things. I am fully responsible for the world that I've created for myself. And the moment I do not like the world that I've created, then I have to change it. I have to do something about that. I got to do that. Second thing I believe about me is that I can do all things. I can do all things with a capital A, capital L, capital L. Do you believe that about yourself, even if nobody else believes that for you? Because that's where it begins. Now, we're going to talk about some other forms of belief here, but it begins there. There are some, you want to surround yourself with people who believe in you, but if you don't believe in you, I don't care how many people around you believe in you. You got to believe in you. You got to believe in you. So I believe I can do all things. The third thing I believe is that everything the sun touches belongs to me. Everything the sun touches belongs to me. And that was one of my favorite lines from the movie Lion King, which may very well be a forgery from what I understand. It may have copied another movie to create that movie, another lesser known film, same principles, almost same everything. It's crazy. But that's neither here nor there. I can't say that. I don't know if they did that, but I've heard somewhere that may have been, they may have hijacked somebody else's story. Nevertheless, he took Simba up on a rock. Mufasa took Simba up on a rock, and he told him to look out into the plains. He said, everything the sun touches belongs to you. I believe that God created this entire universe specifically for me. I don't know if he created it for you. I know for a fact that he created everything in creation has been created specifically for me to have success. It's been created specifically for me to prosper and to thrive. Do you believe in yourself when nobody else believes in you? That's the question. Now, a couple other types of belief, right? You got to believe in yourself when no one else does. But then you have to surround yourself with people who believe in you, right? Because there's a few types of beliefs that can hold us back or set us free. What you believe about you will hold you back or set you free. What other people believe about you can hold you back or set you free. What you think other people believe about you can hold you back or set you free. right? Brazil said it's Disney. Of course they did, right? So those three beliefs. So what you believe about yourself can hold you back or set you free. What others believe about you can hold you back or set you free. What you think others believe about you can hold you back or set you free. So let's look at those real quick. So we talked about what you believe, what you got to believe in yourself and no one else. But what others believe about you, if you don't have a strong enough belief in yourself yet, you can adopt other people's belief about you, and it can hold you back or it can set you free. Sometimes people can believe in you before you believe in yourself in the right way, and that could stoke your belief in yourself. Other times, people can superimpose their limitations on you based on what they believe about you. Man, you shouldn't do that. You're not going to make it with that. You're not going to have any success in that. No, you're not going to be able to pull that off. So this is what they believe about you, and they're superimposing their beliefs on you. And really what they're doing is they're superimposing their beliefs about themselves on you. They're telling you that I don't believe you can do that. When in reality, what they're saying is, I don't believe I can do that. And if I can't do that, you're not as good as me. So you certainly can't do that if I can't. So you got to be careful with your circle. You got to be careful about what you allow people to speak over your life, speak into your life, and speak to you. A lot of times people, when they say what you can't do, they're superimposing their limitations on you. I tried something like that. I couldn't get it to work. I believe that I am greater than you. So if I couldn't get it to work, you can't get it to work. So I'm going to tell you not to do it. I'm going to discourage you from trying. Because really, what that means is if you pull it off, that says something about me. If you do have success, that says something about me. So let me try to discourage you from doing it in the first place, because you're doing something that I tried and I failed. I tried to be an entrepreneur. I couldn't make it work. So now that you're trying to be an entrepreneur, girl, you better keep your job. Man, you don't want to go. Entrepreneurship is tough. You might want to stick with your job. What happens if it don't work? So they're superimposing their limiting beliefs on you. They're telling you what they believe about you. And if you listen, that could hurt you or it could set you free. Just depends. And it wears on you mentally and emotionally, especially when it comes from family members. It absolutely does. It absolutely wears on you. That's why you have to surround yourself with people who are like-minded. The other one is what you think people believe about you. Have you ever heard or sat with somebody and somebody says hi to them, and they go and read a bunch of stuff into somebody saying hi to them? Oh, she didn't mean that. She don't even like me. I don't know why she over here saying hi to me. She was probably trying to be funny. Like, man, they just said hi. See, what you think other people think about you can hurt you or it could set you free. Some of us are putting too much time, energy, and effort into what we think people believe about us. And that's holding us back. I didn't like the way this person introduced me, so they must feel some kind of way about me. And now I'm watching everything they do to try to validate what I think they think about me, and I'm spending so much time watching them that I've taken my eye off the prize. I've shifted my focus from hitting my goals to now watching every move they make to try to validate and prove that they don't like me. It can hold you back or it can set you free. All things are possible for him that believes. All things are possible for the individual. It doesn't matter what somebody else believes, what they don't believe. Don't matter if somebody supports you, if they don't support you. There's only one person required to believe for you to achieve, and that is you, my friend. It's nice to have people around you who believe in you, want to genuinely see you succeed and see you win at whatever you're trying to do. That's nice, but it's not required. It's nice to have, but it's not required. There's only one person required to believe, and that's you. Surround yourself with like minds, people who want to help you achieve, want to help you win. That's nice, but it's not required. Stop tripping off what you think other people are thinking about you. Because really, y'all, most people ain't. With all the crap that's going on in people's lives, most of them ain't got time to be thinking about you. They got too much crap going on in their lives. You're making that up. This person is thinking about me and they're talking about me, and a lot of times they're not, man. And if they are, so what? So 3 forms of wealth, part 1, knowledge. Better get some knowledge of this system that we're in called a capitalistic democracy. You better start increasing your knowledge on your industry, your products, and your services if you're an entrepreneur. You better start looking at books to read. Millionaires read 3 to 4 books per month. Watch less than 4 hours of TV. We're helping you shape your habits, right? Success isn't built in a day, but it is built daily. What are your daily habits? Are you watching more than 4 hours of TV per day? It just means you don't have the habits of a millionaire. Maybe you have the habits of a 6-figure person, but you don't have the habits of a millionaire if you're watching more than 4 hours of TV per day. Right? Question: why don't you ever see a Rolls Royce commercial on TV? Anybody know? Why don't you ever see a Rolls Royce commercial, a Lamborghini commercial, a Bugatti commercial on TV? Why don't you ever see those commercials on TV? Because the people who buy those cars don't watch TV. You ever notice that? You ever trip off that? You don't see a Lamborghini commercial? You don't see a Rolls Royce commercial? Never seen a Bugatti commercial? Because the people who watch TV aren't buying those cars. They aren't buying those cars. So it'd be a waste of their money to put a commercial on TV. That's it, Bazelle. People who can afford to buy them ain't spending time in front of no TV. So decisions, man, I'm not saying don't do your due diligence, but make your mind up. Make a decision. You got to make a decision before life makes a decision for you. And then you try to swim out of to keep from drowning in the decisions that life have made for you. No, you take the wheel and you make some decisions. And then even if the decisions don't work out, then you make those decisions right. You either accept your circumstances or you accept responsibility for changing them. You either accept your circumstances or you accept the responsibility to change them. And then wealth number 3 is you got to believe in yourself when no one else does. You have to believe in yourself when no one else does. Remember, all things are possible for him that believes, her that believes. All things are not possible for the one who has 50 people that believe in him. All things, it didn't say all things are possible for him whose mother believes. All things are possible for him whose father believes. All things are possible for him whose husband whose wife believes, her whose husbands believe. No, all things are possible for him, her, that individual must believe, and all things are possible. Somebody else believing in you is just a bonus. Other people believing in you is just a bonus. You gotta believe. You gotta believe. Make sense? So again, Generational Wealth Building Conference, Atlanta, Georgia, April 6th through the 8th. Go to wealth.joincorteznow.com to pick up your tickets. If you're a business owner, make sure you buy a marketing package or an ad package. Support the movement, support the conference by sponsoring a business card size ad or something to that effect. And that's how you can help them pull this event off. Johnson Family Legacy, partner with the Financial Health Mentor, will be in Kansas City, Missouri this weekend, March 24th from 8 to about 1, teaching financial literacy, how to build wealth, how to become a wealth strategist and make some extra money working from home, teaching financial principles and strategies while you're implementing those things in yourself. So you can definitely tune in if you are in the Kansas City, Missouri area. 3210 Michigan Avenue is going to be a rocking good time. If you're in the area, do me a favor, go to my page, Financial Health Mentor, click on events and share that event for me. You might have some people on your timeline that are in the KC Mo area. So please do me that favor. And then, of course, the show is brought to you by the Black Wealth Movement. If you yourself personally can admit to yourself, I've been trying money my way all of my adult life. It has not gotten me where I want to be financially. Let me try money the Black Wealth Movement way and see if some of these strategies can do something different for me. Let me try that. $70 to start, less than $50 per month. You'll be trained by multi-millionaires, how they built their wealth. You'll be implementing the exact same strategies that they used over the last 30 years to build their wealth. Now we're talking about a couple of these guys are 9-figure guys, right? They'll teach you what they did to build their wealth, and then you'll be joined our team and immersed in a culture where we'll be helping you implement these strategies, and we'll be walking along this path together. That way we can protect one another from outsiders who say it can't be done. We can protect one another from the naysayers who saying, hey man, y'all might want to, y'all going the wrong way. Y'all need to turn around and go this way with us and get a job and work your job for 40, 60 years. Nah, we can protect one another, right? We can protect one another. Says you're right. No Bugatti commercials on TV. Millionaires don't watch. The people who buy those cars don't watch TV, right? Definitely. And if Carolyn Deal invited you, make sure that you get with her to get your questions answered about what it is that we do in terms of the Black Wealth Movement. So tomorrow we'll pick up part 2 on this. I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. A lot of you have shared the stream already. If you haven't already shared the stream, go ahead and hit the share button. Even though we're wrapping it up, people will see it on your timeline from the beginning, and maybe they will realize that they can start their day with some positive conversation about wealth, success, and all the other things that we talk about on the show. So I'm your man, H. Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor to the Black community, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur. Until I talk to you next time, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. but more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every one of you. Peace out, y'all.